Today's quote is entitled, "The Real Problem, the Mind." The brahmana said, "These people are not the cause of my unhappiness and distress. Neither are the demigods, my own body, the planets, my past work or time. Rather, it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuates the rotation of material life." This is a very beautiful verse from the Bhagavatam because we have a tendency to find the cause of our distress in an external situation or in the activity or words of another person. And if you study the Bhagavatam very carefully, you will see that in many places of the Bhagavatam, it says, no, they are not the cause of our distress. We are the cause of our own distress. As Prabhupada said, we are the only obstacle to our bhakti. So here the Brahmana, I believe this is the Avanti Brahmana, said that the mind, our thinking, our attitude, our way of doing things is actually the cause of all our problems. As Krishna says, the mind can bring you up, it can bring you down. And so the reason that I have this verse is because I just want to reinforce this idea that anytime you blame another person, anytime you point the finger, just stop. And realize the way I'm seeing the situation, the way I'm allowing my mind to think and process the situation is actually what is causing me distress. And if I see the situation in a different way, it won't cause me distress. For example, if you're dealing with some issue, whether it be envy or jealousy or resentment or whatever, there's always a story behind it. And that story is actually feeding into that resentment or jealousy or envy. And if you change the story, you're going to see it differently. So all really becoming free from a negative emotion means, in many, many cases, is changing the way you see it, changing the mind's perception of that particular event. And so now you can see it in a way that can support forgiveness or compassion or kindness. Or you can see it in a way that supports resentment, envy, and jealousy. So sometimes when we're struggling to free ourselves from these negative emotions and we don't know why it's so difficult, it's because of the way the mind is perceiving. And the way the mind is perceiving that event is fostering those very emotions. So it's a very simple point, but it's a very important point, that if we can change the way we see something, we'll change the emotional response to it. And so Shastra is all about refocusing the way we see things. Like we say, sometimes something bad happens and we say, no, refocus it. It's actually Krishna's mercy. He's helping you. Refocus it. It's actually your karma. It's you deserve worse when Krishna's giving you a little bit. So these refocuses then allow us to see the situation in a way that pulls us up. So why would you want to see anything in a way that pulls you down? You wouldn't, but we do it. So whenever you're stuck in a kind of situation where you just can't seem to get free from that need to criticize or that resentment or that envy, try to see things in a different way. Try to see that person in a different light. Try to be more empathetic to understand why they do what they do. Try to see their good qualities. Try to look at some of your defects rather than focus on theirs. And as you do this, you'll start to refocus. Another example, beautiful example we had talked about maybe a year or so ago, is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, let's say someone criticizes you. So what's going to be your reaction? Well, normal reaction is you'll be upset. But he said, think that that person is just sent by Krishna to make you humble. Do you need to be more humble? Krishna sent someone to humble you by pointing out a defect. So you switch, you recalibrate, and say, okay, Krishna wants me to become more humble. Now a person praises you, and you think, oh, I can't handle praise, it's too difficult. Well, then think, no, the person's not praising you, they're praising your guru, or they're praising Krishna through you. Or, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, they're telling you what you should become. Oh, you're so this, you're so great at this and that. That means you should become great at this and that. And that way, by refocusing you take it in a way which fosters your Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we take it in a way which degrades our Krishna consciousness. So if you're trying to elevate your Krishna consciousness, but your thinking is degrading you, then it's not going to work. So therefore, we can only blame the mind, the perception, the way we're seeing things. That's what he's saying. Don't blame anyone else. Blame the way you've processed it. And the way you've processed it then can cause your liberation, or it can cause all kinds of distress, all kinds of attachments, and all kinds of problems. Hare Krishna. If you like this video, you can subscribe below. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you share this video with others, if you comment on it, if you like it, do whatever you have to click to share it, because I think a lot of devotees would appreciate getting these videos. I try to take our philosophy and put it in a practical way so we know how to apply it in daily activity. And this is one of the services I do. And I want to reach as many devotees as possible. If you can help me, I'd appreciate it so much. Thank you.